channel viewer Amit suggested I do a shop tour, so if this episode sucks, blame him. All right, here we go on this fine spring day. Thunderstorms are supposed to be rolling in this afternoon, so might get a little sporty here. Let's go inside. We are a bit awash in, I don't want to say disorganization, it's just we've done a lot of stuff and we haven't put a lot of little things away. We're getting rid of the Jetsons table. I don't know anything about it other than it was in the house when we got it. It's made of steel and wood and weighs about 8 gazillion pounds. Got this funky kind of, there's a little bit of like a metal flake look to it. I don't know anything about it, so if you're in the Dayton area and you see this in the next couple of days, check Facebook Marketplace. It will be up for sale. Stuff in the middle is stuff we haven't done anything with. It's just in the process of getting moved elsewhere. What's the big news? Big news, we got cabinets up. I'd like to thank the French for their contribution to my shop, also known as the French Cleat, which allows a one-man show like me to be able to hang stuff like that all by himself. Back down here in the corner is going to be our welding and metalworking area. Friend of the channel, Jay, has graciously allowed us to hibernate his Lincoln MIG welder here for the time being. We're swapping over the airliner cart to hold things we need for those such tasks, and then the antique mall find, paid 15 bucks for that. Same type of thing. It's going to hold like metalworking stuff or welding supplies. Friend of the channel, Jay, has also graciously pointed me to a wonderful location here in Dayton known as the Dayton Tool Crib, who were able to get me the correct chuck for my 1988 Amrox made in Taiwan drill press, which now works like a peach. I walked in, showed the guy the chuck. He walked down to a cabinet, pulled a key out, and put his hand on this. Pulled it out of the package, perfect fit. So now we got that working. So we got 2 upper cabinets here. A gentleman who works with my wife in the headquarters building, they are redoing their kitchen. The question was, do you want the cabinets? She asked me, I of course said yes. She said, do you want to see them? I of course said no. And we now have cabinets up there. Temporary kind of placement, just because we're kind of playing around with stuff right now, are these 2 narrow base cabinets, and this cabinet, or the countertop, was actually found in the house. Not quite sure if we're going to leave that there or not. Radial arm saw, I have plans in the work, just kind of finalizing the design. I'm going to adjust the back legs on that to lose this dead space here in the back. So we're going to have that pushed right up against the wall, and it won't stick out so much. Maybe put to use some of my newfound welding skills. This is the key box we got out of the old Planet Ford building that the church has bought. Upper cabinets in, lower cabinets. This is I think I got this countertop on bid FTA. I think I paid, I don't know, $2 for it or something like that. It works great for what I need it to do, which is what it's doing right now. This is old. This is California days old. This is where my Makita router goes, so that we can do routing, and it just pulls out of there. Let's see. What's changed in the middle? Not a whole lot. Well, oh yeah, we have this. This had like 3 really good days of scores after looking at a bunch of junk and going to some rather sketchy locations in Dayton. This was listed as an electric generator, and it's an Ajax 3 horsepower, 230-volt single phase motor, but it's not, it's not like your normal motor. It's a where's the frame number? It's a 184T frame, so it's a big mother. This frame that it's on is almost 18 inches wide. That'll show you how big this motor is. It's heavy, and it's connected up to a 2-cylinder pump, air compressor pump, with the flywheel no less. And there's a tension adjustment. Let's see if I can find it in here. There's a tension adjustment mechanism in there as well. So this could very well just sit on the ground, I guess, like this. That was, I feel, $50 well spent. The motor works, turns the pump, pump's not seized. Life is good. Free hernia included. It took myself and a pretty beefy gym owner. I forget her name. She was super duper nice. Little tiny hands, but just big, huge guns. And so we were able to use proper lifting technique and get that into the back of the truck. That doesn't seem like a lot of excitement until I tell you that the next day I answered a Facebook ad and was able to procure this, a Campbell Hausfeld 60-gallon air tank with a 220 motor on it. There's not a horse rating on the, well, no, maybe I would have to convert it. I don't know. Anyways, 240 volt, 15 amp. Oh, there it is. 7 horse is what it says. And the guy said, yeah, the pump's broken. Well, got one. So that is a project that will be coming up so that we will now have an ample supply of compressed air in the shop. The table over here is, again, stuff that's just been co-located so we could move big pieces of furniture. The same thing with the admin desk over on the side. It is, it's got a router table on it. It's got a grinder. It's got a drill press. It's got all kinds of stuff just sitting around on it because we've been, again, moving big, huge, heavy stuff. Now, pay no attention to all of the sound equipment because I'll try to make this brief. A friend I have known since I have lived here in Dayton, which has only been like 3.5 years, was at the airport in Dallas-Fort Worth. He ended up having a conversation with a guy, and they found out that at one point in time they went to the same denomination of church. They continued talking. The guy said that he was working on a ministry project over in the country of Jordan, and that he had everything squared away except the sound system that they wanted. So my new friend says, hey, I know a guy, let me give him a call. He calls me because he knows I've been trying to get rid of this stuff, and he sends me the business card of the guy because I ask if he's local, because the last thing I want to do is ship 2 32-channel soundboards and a snake and amps and all that kind of stuff. He says, yeah, he's local, sent me his business card. I know the guy. I haven't seen him in 20 years, but I used to be on a church board with him. So the next day, they both fly home to Dayton. Sunday afternoon, he comes in, talks to me, and we do a little chit-chat and a little logistics and a little planning, and in about 2 weeks, this equipment is going into a Connex and is going to be on its way to a church, not a church, a school that works with autistic kids somewhere in the country of Jordan. And, well, there's more to that, but we'll see. Anyways, over here, we've stepped across the blue line. Again, the blue line is where in theory there's going to be a wall. This will now be the clean area. We got the Go Bar deck. This is the Martin X series with a split brace that we're gonna get glued up here pretty quick. We've done a little adjusting. We brought the wood shelves inside to here because this is going to be much more climate controlled than the outside dirty part of the shop. HVAC, I know I've been saying it for a year, but HVAC is on the way. And when it gets here, we'll all have a big party. This is just stuff that was kind of moved around. This is something we're tinkering, and an idea we're going to do a couple of dry runs, and then we're possibly thinking of maybe offering a weekend ukulele assembly class using kit guitars here in the shop. I don't know, we'll see. The X series guitar again on the bench, all busticated and nearly corpseified, but we'll got a couple of ideas on this. Still really honestly kind of thinking about it, what the best way to proceed is going to be. The electronics bench is a nightmare mess just because we had to move everything, because now I have a cabinet. I have a wall cabinet that we're going to be able to store some things in. We got some bookages and some papels and storage cases and stuff like that. Sorry, guy who requested the tour. There's just a bunch of junk on the back wall. We're obviously not going to go through all of it. What's the weird stuff? The weird stuff, those are the homemade clamps for bridges that are quasi-successful. There's nothing really crazy. These are straight edges, but they are made so that they will fit over, Fender and Gibson scales. There's nothing exciting back here. It's wrenches. Oh, if you're looking for a podcast, Classic Rock Drops, tell Mike and Tuck I said hi. The most specialized kind of corner is over here, and that's where the nut making stuff, for the most part, hangs out. There's no real super specialty stuff. Maybe this, this vise from StewMac, that's kind of specialized, but there are plenty of trades that use small things like that. That's about it. This is the power tool cabinet. It's pretty simple. It's just got little notches where stuff sits, and it's just an easy place for me to put things. I got a little charging station up on the top. The fridge, I can offer you the two necessities in life, which of course are Guinness and popsicles. And then the computer workstation, where we do some surfing, we do some editing. Not a lot of editing. It is set up, it'll run open broadcast software. It will run a dual screen, 2-camera outfit, and it'll dump everything to this 1 terabyte drive. It's nothing fancy. It just does what I need it to do. That's the tour. That's pretty much what there is. The big wood pile over here is still the big wood pile over here. And again, everything is shoved over to one side, and then we'll organize one side, and then we kind of start putting stuff away, which is where we're at now. Other plan, not a big plan, but it's going to be a fairly involved project. I'm taking this bandsaw off this stand, not bandsaw, the table saw. I'm taking that off of that stand, and then I'm going to lower it. I don't like how high it is. I think it's too high for me. It's hard to work with. I just don't like it. It's a little too high. So we're gonna change that around. And then part of the reason there's all this wood here in the middle, this stack here in the middle. This is a friend of the channel, Jay's stack of wood that he has sent over, because we are in the process of planning and starting to build 20-inch bandsaws, one for each of us, using the plans from Matthias Wandel over at woodworks.ca. Very interesting channel. I got to say, the plans are well laid out, well thought out. A pox on him for leaving it metric. It would have been easy enough to convert over to American measurements. But that's just me. So I get to do all the converting, and that's a pain where he could have done it for us. That's probably right now my only complaint about the plans. Oh, and what's the other thing? One more thing. You'll notice the two video fluid head tripods over there. That is part of a camera rail system that I'm building for a church. And we're using 1.5 inch aluminum angle. There'll be 2 of these. We're using that as the track. And then the wheels are these little grooved bearings that'll fit right on top of it. So that's a collaborative project I've got going on between myself, a mechanical engineer, and an electrical engineer that all go to the church. So, and you know, if that works out, we may develop something. Hopefully, in the next couple of days, I'll get the base plate kind of fitted up, and we're going to do some aluminum brazing. But more than likely, we'll end up taking it into my welding class next week, and that way I can use their equipment there, and then we'll just do some AC TIG aluminum welding on it, you know, just because we can. So anyways, that's what's going on here at the shop. Thanks for the suggestion of getting this shop tour out of the way. We're getting there. The wife is out of town this week, so I'm able to put in nice, you know, 10, 12, 14-hour days I would like to say getting all shop work done, but with the property this big and as busy a guy as I am, I'm always pulled in a bunch of different directions. Anyways, I'm James. This is RATTLECAN Guitar Restorations. You guys have a great weekend. Cheers.
Hey, if you like this episode of RATTLECAN Guitar Restorations, you might want to check this video out as well. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, and if you'd like to help the channel grow, consider stepping over to our Patreon page and giving that a look. Y'all have a good weekend. Cheers.